I'm one of your biggest followers.
Thank you.
And from following you, I've seen you really emphasize on leadership. And you, at the beginning of the podcast, you mentioned that, people tend to have a lot of assumptions, and sometimes they tend to overlook some things. So in leadership, what would you say is the most, underrated quality that professionals overlook or assume?
I would say personal leadership, and personal leadership as sort of an umbrella term, in the sense that if one leads themselves well, and that means, all the things we're talking about, they're self-aware, they're managing their emotions, they're managing their, their space, they're managing their schedule and discipline and all that. Nobody is perfect, but at least as long as they are working on that with a view to leading themselves well, then I think it becomes, their leadership of others becomes more authentic, and it flows with empathy. And so that makes empathy one of those things that are underrated in leadership, because we've seen a lot of leaders that sort of are not too concerned about other people. Maybe they are more focused on the bottom line or on the opportunities or what's in it for me. I want to remain number one. I want my organization to remain number one, which is not bad in itself. But if we do that with empathy, realizing that there's a team out there that needs to be supported, there's a team out there that needs to be, you need to mind their well-being, you need to develop them and help them also to get to that space. You're casting the vision and taking others along with you. Then I think that's great.
Great. So empathy is something that leaders can be coached.
It can be developed, yes. Yes.
Wow. Great. This afternoon I'm really honored to be in the studio with two people who really inspire me, yourself and Mr. Paul Mukoma behind the screen. So what would you is there a person or people or a book that have that really inspire you, or that have played a very key impact to where you are right now and your journey?
Oh yes. So there are people and there are books and there are quotes and there are experiences, that have really been inspirational in getting me to where I am. And I mean, with regard to people, honestly, what comes to mind right now is my family. All right. So my husband, my two sons, just the experience of being a wife and a mom. That in itself inspires me to want to be the best that I can be. All right. Because these are key relationships for me. And of course, there is my mom, who is a very wise woman, very, what can I call, very calm, very, calm, but very wise and very observant. Okay. And so when I look at these people and just get into their worlds and learn as much as I can from them, I find that I'm inspired to be a better person. With regard to books, there are several. Early on in my career, I read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and then Life is a Gold Mine, Can You Dig It? By John Stanko. And those books, it's like they set the stage for me to start thinking or to embark on this journey of thinking about my own personal mission, my own personal vision, because of the kind of information and the kind of questions, and even exercises that they give to allow you to really reflect and ask yourself these questions, like if a company must have a mission statement and a vision, and yet a company is an artificial person created in the eyes of the law, right? How much more you as a person who is an image bearer of God?
Wow.
How much more should you have a vision and a mission? So these books set me on that journey and on that quest. Of course, it's a process developing this, and keep refining it. And most recently, there are two books, especially around the year 2024, last year. These two books that I read that really opened my eyes to different aspects of life and leadership. And one of them is called Questions That Jesus Asked. And it's written by John Campbell, a South African author, who is also a friend of mine. And the other one is Lead Like Jesus, by Ken Blanchard, co-authored Ken Blanchard and someone else.
Yeah.
And these books, they sort of take you into the world of Jesus and how he led, the questions he asked, the kind of things that he did, the kind of habits that he had that really helped him to accomplish his mission on earth. And I think about that, I contemplate, and I desire and aspire to build those kinds of qualities and characteristics in my own life. And as a coach, asking questions is one of the tools that we use. Asking not just questions, but powerful questions that evoke, deep thinking, and even help people to think about their own resourcefulness. And so when you think about how Jesus asked those questions and the way he interacted with the people, it makes me want to do the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. You're known for, excellently, nurturing people, holistically, their wellness, their careers. But how do you do it for yourself?
Yes. Healer, heal thyself. Yeah, for me, it's also it's an intentional process. Carving out time for what is important. And for me, the important things, like you may have guessed by now that faith is a very big part of it. And so I ensure I carve out time for my own quiet moments, reflection, for journaling, for reading, for doing my Bible study alone and with other people. So there are specific times that I have created for that. And then and even for things like exercise. I enjoy doing these challenges. It really helps to keep me on toes. For example, I have this app called Strava, that you'll find different challenges at different times. And so
challenges for
running, for walking, it could be
Strava.
Strava. It could be I don't know, 5 kilometers per week, or I'm just saying random things, but they do have those challenges. And so I like to sign up for those on a regular basis. Sometimes I do it with other people. For example, like last year in November, there was this it's called the Lorna Bee Challenge. The lady that champions it and started it is called Lorna. And where you run 5 kilometers every day for 30 days. And the day you don't do it, you're out of the challenge. So I like to do things like those because they help me to keep on my fitness journey. And I also, like to leverage my seasons and look at, what's going on. So there are, with the kind of work that we do, there are times that things are really busy and there's, lots of requests and a lot of demand for the work. There are times when the demand is a little low. So I look at those seasons and I flow with them. When it's low, then I do my own thing. You can travel, you can I can travel, I can socialize and all that. So that's really how I manage. But there's an intentional carving out for even just time to do different things that are important and that are priority. Yeah.
Great. That's really encouraging and challenging as well. I think those are things I'll personally try out.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's important, and there is something else that I do as well. I so for me, development, personal, professional, wellness, thinking about legacy, thinking about family, my spiritual growth and all that, they are really important. And so some of the things that I do, even in terms of just looking at time, budgeting, resources, time and money, you'll find that for every year, I'll set aside resources and time for my own continuing professional development, whether it will be attending seminars, whether it will be doing a course. So every year I must have certain things that I want to learn, and I set aside a budget and time for that.
Great.
Yeah.
You just mentioned legacy. And now, personally and professionally, what do you hope your legacy and impact to be?
Wow. Yeah, so I would like to, leave behind people who have, everybody that's somehow been through my, shall I say, okay, let me say this well. I would like to be remembered as somebody who empowered people and helped them to discover the treasure that lies inside of them and help them to deploy it to make an impact in the world. So when you think of Coletta, whether she's there or not, I would like you to think in terms of, empowerment, support, growth, potential, impact, yeah, and all that, just having supported people in that way.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost wrapping up. I'm really enjoying the conversation.
I am too.
But now, professionals, business leaders, Gen Zs, they're being told, look for a coach. You need a coach. You will really, they will really help you to move from one level to the next levels. But now, how, or rather, what do we need to look for in a coach, especially coaches that will align with our career goals, our leadership goals, and so on? Yeah.
Yeah, I would ask them to do a bit of homework and these days it's very easy, to get to know what one stands for, because we have social media, we have LinkedIn. So I would say, one, professionalism. Let this person be a professional coach, because there are so many people who call themselves coaches, right? And whether they are or not remains to be seen. So it's important to ensure that this person that you want to engage is a professional. All right, the way they carry themselves, the things they care about, the things they talk about, the way they do their work, who they are as a person. Also professionalism. And then the other thing I would say is competencies, right? The International Coach Federation is very clear on the competencies that a professional coach needs to have. And so look out for somebody who's interested in their own development, who's taken the time, who's put in the necessary work and resources to develop those competencies as a coach. And then chemistry, because I could be the professional, I could have all those competencies, but then if you and I don't have a chemistry, then that engagement will most likely not succeed. So it's important to gauge the chemistry, and this and every coach, will do this.
Mm-hmm.
They will just spend some time with a potential client and have that conversation, create rapport, and see if they're a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just the basics that I would say. Look out for that.
Great.
Yeah.
Now back to the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is watching and they are, feeling very stuck in their career, what is the first thing you would tell them to do, today or tomorrow morning, so that now they can start moving forward?
If they're feeling stuck in their career, I would say get a coach.
And you've already
Because-
given us the guideline on how to find a coach.
Yes, because or even a mentor.
Uh-huh.
You can have conversations with a mentor.
Uh-huh.
Working with a coach will help you to have that objective view, because sometimes when we are stuck, there's so many things, perspectives that we may miss out. We may even be just stuck in terms of thinking how to move forward. And when you work with a coach, they'll help you just go through that process of identifying what exactly is keeping you stuck. They'll help you, they'll ask you those questions, and they'll share an insight here and an insight there that will really help you to articulate what your challenge is, and come up with a goal, and help you create a path to achieve that goal.
Great.
Yeah.
There has been a very big shift in how people approach work. And this shift has manifested in the sense that now we have very many freelancers, gig workers, and consultants. So how does your work, help them to overcome any career challenges or to identify any career opportunities? Yes, because I always feel like every time people talk about career development, they always leave out the freelancers, the gig workers, the consultants.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. And those freelancers, gig workers, contractors, that's another soft spot of mine, and I really enjoy supporting them. And some of the challenges that these people working in this kind of setup have is, some of the challenges include just understanding your niche, creating a niche for yourself, positioning, thinking in terms of how do I even offer my services, and another big one, managing the work, managing your projects, managing your time, communicating, and even professionalism, right? So these are some of the things that I see freelancers and gig workers and people who are working in that kind of space need. And so the game plan framework supports them, in the sense that when you've gone through that process of self-awareness, then you realize I don't have to manage my things the way Monene does, because I am more geared towards working like this, and so I flow with my my personality and stuff, and so the framework really helps people in their different, like I said, there's no one size fits all. It's really helping people to understand where their strength excuse me, where their strengths are, where their opportunities are, and their motivations and seasons, and really helping them to craft a way of working that aligns with all that, and also just helping them think about tools, or even adopt tools that will help them. The other day we were talking about managing projects, and we were talking about Trello and Notion and all those other tools. Just helping them to leverage. These days, there's a lot of technology out there that can help us to make things easier for ourselves. So helping them to consider and explore different tools that can help them to manage their work and to manage themselves. So those are just some of the things that we help them in.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering, does the game plan also help students maybe to bridge between education and the marketplace, you know, or the corporate world? You know, does it help them?
You know what?
Mhm.
That game plan framework
Yeah.
is, you know, I would say it's kind of like the Bible, all right? Because the Bible is one.
Yeah.
It is read by children, it is
Wow.
read by teenagers, it is read by old people. You know that, you know, the what can I say, the content is the same, but it's applicable at different levels.
Wow.
And remember, I was saying that the game plan framework is customized for the different levels of professionals. And so in the same way for students in school, in fact, that is where I feel like the introduction of the game plan is really crucial. And when I started my coaching, I started by coaching professionals. And then every time I worked with a professional, I would hear, I wish I had learned these things when I was a student, or I wish I had known these things earlier in my career, or I wish I had this kind of support when I was thinking about entering the world of work. And so that is what made me start thinking about those levels. And so have I lost the question?
No.
So how the game plan framework helps, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so
helps the students.
Yeah, so in designing the game plan framework and working with students, one of the things that I'm very, very keen to mention is that a lot of people are advised, go to school, work hard, get a job, live a good life. That advice is a cake. It doesn't work. And the other approach that we are given is start your career search or your career journey by asking yourself what opportunities are out there. And I say that's not necessarily the right way to look at it. So what the game plan framework does, it helps the students to look at themselves, to look at it from the inside out. Start with your game. Who are you? What do you have? Because you're not a blank slate. Even as a student, there are so many opportunities that you've had. The education itself, opportunities, some have honed their leadership. You started to hone their leadership skills. Some have honed other skills in the process, collaboration. And there's so many things that they are getting while they are at school. And then there are already those natural leanings and inclinations they already have. So the game plan helps them to begin to embrace this and learn how to align. And so the one key thing that that framework does is that it helps them to work from inside out. And by the time they're beginning to look at opportunities, their mindset is one of abundance, not scarcity.
Wow.
Because you'll agree with me that we are told, opportunities are scarce. But the moment you work with the game plan framework, you realize that the mentality is one of abundance. I am not necessarily deterred by those scarce opportunities because I know who I am and what I have that I can leverage, and I know how to articulate myself. I know how to look at the different playgrounds and create my space there. Yeah.
Great. Very resourceful. I wish I had the game plan as a student.
There you go.
God knows where I would have been right now. So you have an event coming up on the 8th of February. Yes. Kindly tell us more about the event, what people can expect. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this event is called Beyond Resolutions, and it's a planning event. Normally we do these planning events at the end of the year, but somehow we did not manage to do it in 2024. And so now we brought it to 2025, Beyond Resolutions. We're looking at, it's the New Year's resolutions phenomena.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. People make resolutions. Sometimes people are ambitious with those resolutions. A lot of times people are well-meaning. They want to achieve certain things. They want to become something else, something beyond what they are right now. That's, the ideal self. And so in this session, it's going to be a brunch. We're gathering like-minded professionals to come together and have a time of reflection, where they are at, where they're coming from, where they are right now, where they are going, where they want to be next year this time, 2 years from now, and envision that and craft strategies to get there. And we're going to be giving them tools and frameworks and assessments just to help them assess where they are. And then, work through that with insights and tools and strategies to plan and design a clear path to achieving what they would like to achieve. And for those who've already started, it's a time to build momentum. For those who haven't started, it's a time to encourage them to start. And then for those who want to, we're encouraging them to be in these accountability groups where you have people working with you all year long. It's not just a one-off, because it's a process. Goal achievement is a process. And you could encounter setbacks, or you could reach a place and you realize, I need to recalibrate. I need to relook at my goals. When you have this accountability structure, people helping you to walk that journey, then it becomes easier and you have higher chances of succeeding. So this is what we're going to be offering on the 8th of February. It's going to be a start to that journey. And for those who will work with us to, till the end of the year, we will support them and see them achieving their goals.
Great.
Yeah, and it's going to be at Rainbow Towers. Sinapis, who are our partners, are going to be hosting us. And so that's 8th of February from 8:30 a.m. to around midday. You're welcome to register.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Yes. Fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Before your parting shot, where can people find you? Your resources. So
people can find me on LinkedIn, on social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Just search my name or search Cogent Afrique, COGENT Afrique. You'll find our resources there. You'll find there's also podcast that is called Work in Progress with Coletta Masharia. You can find that on YouTube. You can find that on Spotify, on SoundCloud. So find those resources. The book, How to Design Your Career Game Plan, you can find it at Nuria Textbook Center in Westlands. They're also carrying it. Or you can just call us and let us know that you'd like to make an order. It's also on Amazon. You can find it there. And you will also find us at Rainbow Towers on Saturday, February 8th. So lots of options.
Great. Awesome. There you have it. You have so many options of where to find her, where to find her resources. And I'm sure you will be really, really impacted. So, it has been a wonderful conversation. But allow us for today. We stop at that particular point. I wish we had much more time to have this conversation. But before we wrap up, your parting shot.
So my parting shot for everyone who's listening: never underestimate the power of self-awareness. All right? That just knowing who you are, your values, your motivations, your strengths, your weaknesses, your personality, your behavior style, your communication style, your leadership style, all those things, that's a game changer. Because you are a resource. All right? You and your talents and whatever, you are a natural resource.
Wow.
And so once you embrace that and take that time, invest the time and the resources
Mm-hmm.
into mining. You know, it's like, I call it a treasure hunt,
Mm-hmm.
into mining yourself, cultivating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then there will be, you know, just so much that you can do to make this world a better place, and to help a lot of people, and to help yourself, and to have a fulfilling life.
Awesome.
So that's my parting shot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Wisdom. Wisdom.
Mm.
My takeaway is I am a natural resource,
Mm-hmm.
and I will not underestimate the power of self-awareness. You can let us know your takeaway, on the comments. I'm really blessed. I'm really inspired. Thank you so much for, creating time to hang out with us. And barikiwa sana.
Amen. Asante
Yes.
sana. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this conversation,
Uh-huh.
and I look forward to many more to come.
Great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Awesome.